London Uncovered, as we are moving on to a new episode, and today we are talking about love versus infatuation test. Love, or so it is said, makes the whole world go round. It strikes across a crowded room, sweeps us off our feet, makes fools rush where angels fear to tread. Love has been variously portrayed as a force, a fuel, a drug, a snare, an elixir, a biological trick to ensure the survival of the species, a gift from God to remind man of his divine life. And yes, love and infatuation are both intense emotions, but differ in the reality of love, intensity, and final outcome. Love is when you care deeply and strongly about someone else. You support and are willing to sacrifice for their sake. Love entails trust, connection, intimacy, loyalty, understanding, and forgiveness. Infatuation is when you get swept off your feet and get lost and carried away by a romantic interest. You become completely obsessed with someone and cannot take that person out of your mind. And when he or she does not feel the same way, you want the worst to happen to them. Whereas love is never painful, nor does it hurt the other person, but obsession and infatuation do. Also, falling in love at first sight may sound romantic, but it is not actually true. For this feeling again is infatuation. Experts say there is nothing wrong with infatuation as long as it is healthy, which in most cases develop into true and lasting love. And one author puts it beautifully: infatuation is when you dream of everything that should be you, and then you wake up incredibly disappointed and realize that it wasn't real. Love is when you have intense nightmares of losing what you already have. So when you wake up, you breathe a sigh of relief, thanking God that it was only a dream. So remember the maxim: test before you trust, look before you leap, inspect before you expect. And let's go and see what people have to say about it, and see the test, the difference between love and infatuation. Tell us, what do you think is the difference between love and infatuation?
Well, infatuation tends to be one way. It's an obsession with an idealized version of someone. But love is willing to be sacrificial. It's willing to bless another person, even at cost to one's own self.
So how can one test the difference?
they can ask themselves if they would rather that person be blessed who they love, even if it meant the two stayed apart, versus whether they just wanted to get together with them at all costs. The first would be love, but the second would be infatuation.
What message would you give to the world, Ben?
Learn how to love people better by understanding your own heart and understanding that it's better to bless those people even at cost to yourself.
Ben, that was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Tell us, what's the difference between love and infatuation?
Well, love is an overwhelming emotion that you know deep down when you're in love, and infatuation is just a passing phase that you get over with so quickly. It's it comes and it goes.
So how can one test?
Well, test if you feel like you're in love, then deep down you know that you've found someone or something that you're going to connect with deeply on such a level. It could be a deity or it could be your partner, but an infatuation is just something that's not reciprocated and given back to you, and it just passes so fast.
What message would you give to the world?
I would say if you found love, keep hold of it. If you're looking, carry on looking. It's out there somewhere, but most of all, be good, be careful, and take care.
Brett, as always, a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Tell us, what do you think is the difference between love and infatuation?
Love is what you have for your family and for your life. Yeah? And infatuation is a brief obsession with an object or a desire. I love my family, I love my wife and my children, I love my car, I love my West Ham United. Now, let's take the sexual nature away from it, yeah? West Ham aren't playing at the moment, so I'm having a brief infatuation with tennis and Wimbledon. It doesn't make anything wrong, and when I go back to West Ham in August, I'll probably love them more for it.
So how does one test between love and infatuation?
It's difficult, Sanjay. Either, if you're the object of your desire, treat them with the uttermost respect, whether they be a partner or another object. Always treat them with respect.
What message would you give to the world?
Be happy and do a lot of loving.
Marcus, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Tell us, how would you differentiate between love and infatuation?
I think love is something that's instinctive. We love our family, we love our partners, we love the world. But I think infatuation is something that's it's more intense and a little bit more darker, because you're taking love to an extreme, and for you that might feel good, but for someone else, the person that you're infatuated with, it's probably not going to be a positive experience, because it's almost like you're pestering somebody out of your own desire. So that's a distinction that I would make. I think infatuation, for me, it conjures up things like stalking, and the extremes of stalking, actually like physically hurting somebody. So that's what I would say on that.
How would you test the difference?
Again, I think if you're going to test the difference between love and infatuation, love is something that is reciprocal. You can love somebody, they can love you. With infatuation, it's something that I think only one person out of the two or more people feels, and it's, like I say, it's something that's more intense and extreme. So the real test is, if you're infatuated with someone else, they're not going to feel those desires towards you, so they're going to feel the negative connotations of that infatuation. So if it has a negative effect, that love or infatuation, on the other person, that's when you know that there's an imbalance there and there's something not right. And like I say, the person who's feeling that infatuation, they'll be able to tell straight away that this is not normal love. This is something else.
Tom, you're a legend. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Sanjay.
as we come to the end of this episode, and we've been talking about love versus infatuation. Test. And yes, we have seen that love is a warm attachment, enthusiasm, and devotion to another person, whereas infatuation is a strong feeling of attraction, fascination, and fixation towards someone without actually knowing them that well. Although it often feels very intense, infatuation tends to be based more on physical attraction and an imagined fantasy about who the person is. Infatuation can be a normal part of early stages of getting to know someone or of a new relationship. It feels very intense, which is why many people confuse infatuation with love. Just remember to take your time, invest in getting to know the person before making any big decisions. And in the words of Oscar Wilde, you don't love someone for their looks or their clothes or for their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear.